Every wrestling legend follows their own path to fame and glory, but you won't be crowned wrestling royalty without harnessing the power of the masters to ignite your quest. Your rise to stardom begins at the feet of giants, and the only way to earn a legend's respect is victory. Training with the best is never easy, but wear those bruises with pride. You're going to need all the help you can get to unlock your potential and win the support of legendary wrestling icons. Once they're on your side, those legends become extremely powerful allies. Enlist their help as managers to energize your team. Wield their awesome power moves to tilt the match in your favor and unleash your own brand of mayhem. So, get ready to begin your legendary journey, because it's time for WrestleQuest!
How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sunday, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern. And it is Wednesday here on this show, and you know what that means? We got a lot of news to talk about here today. Not the least of which is, in about 2 hours, Lance Storm is going to be on the show. And last week, Lance, he'd had enough of NXT after 2 weeks. He could take no more. And this week, because of CM Punk, he chose Raw over NXT. What an unfortunate turn of events that was. We've got the world-famous NXT report later on. I thought that show was great. Last 2 weeks, not the best of NXT, but man, there was so much good wrestling on the show last night, including that main event. I hate overruns. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but they had a 16-minute overrun, and it was worth every second. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Plus, we have Dynamite coming up tonight. We have got a number of matches in the Gold League. Collision this week, we have matches in the Blue League. This is for the Continental Classic Tournament. And we've also got the ratings, the return of CM Punk, how it helped Raw. We've got the SmackDown show on FS1, and I got stuff to say about that number. We have got more on CM Punk. Bryan Danielson headed up a small disciplinary committee that made the decision to fire Punk from AEW. We'll tell you about that. Plus a return, potentially, well, she will return somewhere, of Mercedes Moné. I think the likelihood of her going to WWE is quite high, but I don't know. And plenty more as well. Want to wish a very happy congratulations to Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello, who are the new proud parents of a baby girl. So congratulations to both of them. And a lot to get into when we come back from the break. Back in a moment. Observer Live. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. I guess we should start with everyone's favorite topic, ratings. Although there is ratings news this week because CM Punk and Randy Orton both returned to Raw on Monday night. And as expected, the show did huge numbers. It was the highest 18-49 since the Raw after WrestleMania. 1.88 million viewers, which actually I think I screwed up on. Oh, man. God.
What happened?
Well, you know, I always tweet the numbers, and 1.88 million should have been 1.9 million, rounded up, right?
Yeah.
I put 1.8. You know what that means?
Well,
500,000 responses about how I hate Punk. I did not give him full credit for his return.
Is $500,000 the amount Tony Khan is paying you?
1.88 million viewers. I saw that 4 at the end. I rounded down. Whatever. Anyway, it was about 400,000 higher than the recent shows against the NFL. 0.65 up even more significantly. Don't have the NFL number at this point. But the first hour did 2 million viewers. The second hour, 1.89. The third hour, 1.77 million for the CM Punk interview. So very, very good numbers for Raw, which I think everyone should have expected. If not, I don't know what to tell you. But how interesting. Remember we had that debate a while ago about how SmackDown was going to do on FS1?
Mm-hmm.
And I defeated you?
Yes.
You picked the wrong week, brother. You picked the wrong week.
I know.
SmackDown on FS1. But here's the thing, everybody. Okay, this show did not do well. 789,000 viewers and a .24. But there's 3 things going on here. Number 1, this show was the day after Thanksgiving. Okay, which actually,
Black
interestingly enough, you know, for years, as we talked about yesterday. I shouldn't say by saying for years, it sounds like decades, but I mean years when I say that word. You know, for years, the Dynamite on the night before Thanksgiving always died. And then something happened last year. Maybe everyone aged out of the party bracket. But, you know, the last 2 years now, it's been fine the night before. But Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, not a good day for SmackDown. That's number 1. Obviously, number 2, they were on FS1. Actually, 4 things. They were head-to-head with very, very strong competition. I think they had, somebody said 4 games. I'm not sure if that's right, but they had very, very strong competition. And also...
a lot of football.
Also, no Roman Reigns. I want to make sure that's clear because... you know, it was time to vote in the Observer Hall of Fame, and Roman Reigns did not come close to going in. And everybody wants to say, well, you know, he had years of failure, and then he succeeded, but what about those years of failure and this and that? And we are in a boom period now for WWE. This is the latest boom period. The one before was over 20 years ago. It was the Monday Night Wars. And, you know, we've been going over all of the numbers. You know, it's not just, hey, they're making a lot of money because they got great TV deals. They're selling out all over the place. You know, the Survivor Series, what they're doing now for pay-per-views, they're selling so many tickets for pay-per-views now that they're not doing a stage. They're actually just doing the old school, you know, you come out of the thing and go down so they can pack more seats in there. They're selling more merchandise than ever. Like, they're on fire. And as on fire as they are now, they're actually... well, there's 2 guys, but one of them, you know, he left because he got thumbed in the neck. John Cena and Roman Reigns. If you would have put Roman Reigns on this SmackDown show, it would have done significantly better because it does every single time he appears on the show. He is the biggest mover of this current boom period. And I don't know, man.
Well, here's one thing I
don't know what to tell you guys.
By not having him on this show, not advertising him, you didn't risk falling under 1 million with him because of all the other things that you mentioned before this. And I'm not doubting and I'm not fighting against Roman Reigns being a mover. You can't do that. But I think with this week, I don't know if it really mattered all that much. Same thing coming up this Friday. I wouldn't have him on this show either. You're going to get, in all likelihood, you're going to get killed by that Washington-Oregon game because there's a lot, there's a lot of importance there, and I'm sure that there's other competition that's on as well, too. I wouldn't even bother because, again, things are, when you look at Raw, and again, you see what's going on there, and you see the amount of star power you have, and you see how many people weren't on Survivor Series, not the least of which was Roman Reigns. You do have that to come back and boost things back up again. It's always a risk, but you have that there in case that you need it. And I don't think that last week or this week, he would have helped the number, but I don't think it really matters all that much. I think he did a better job by leaving him off.
Well, I would have taken the number personally, but that's just me. And this guy here goes, how come the product still sucks? He's talking about WWE. That's your opinion, man. Don't have to go back to the Big Lebowski. That's just like your opinion, man. Because the fact of the matter is, their audience loves it right now. And yeah, you know what? Hey, listen, that Raw Monday,
in the Alps, Brian?
That Raw Monday, it sucked. Okay, that show sucked. And I think a lot of people, because Punk was there, decided to watch the show for the first time. It's like Lance in NXT. I haven't watched Raw in a while. Punk's going to be back. God darn, what a horrible show. Yeah, that was a horrible show. That's not the show every week. NXT this week was awesome. That Survivor Series, yeah, the middle of the show was whatever, but, the place went nuts for the two big matches, the War Games matches. Isn't that the point of being a promotion, is to book two main events and have the people go nuts for it and watch it in gigantic numbers, which they did? Listen, brother, I love AEW. Aside from the main event on Saturday, that Collision show absolutely sucked, okay?
Yeah, it did.
Everybody has shows that suck. Everybody has shows that they're good, okay? And it's all subjective if you think it sucked or if it was good. Fact of the matter is, did you provide for your audience? And the answer is yes. Their shows right now are providing for their audience. You, Lucha Gato, are not their audience. That's okay. But don't act like the rest of their audience that loves it thinks it sucks, because they don't. And you know what didn't suck? NXT last night. Are you kidding me?
What? No, I'm giddy about your giddiness to get into this.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about it.
I know.
But I got more here.
I can tell.
Longtime CM Punk friend and former in-ring adversary, Bryan Danielson, headed up a small disciplinary committee that made the decision to fire Punk from AEW, according to Fightful. He was flanked by a 3-person committee, AEW General Counsel Chris Peck, outside attorney, that came together quickly after the events of All Out. Mega was not involved, as she had already stepped down from a majority of her duties to focus on Khan's NFL team instead. That's a big story that no one's talking about. Mega is gone. She's just doing the NFL stuff now. So I had heard that Danielson was the guy that pretty much told Tony, guy's got to go. And he did.
Oh, my God. It's not that he came to that
And by the way, did you see that tweet Danielson did on Monday?
I did.
About doing the right thing or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what he was talking about at the time. Now I know. It was a reference to this story that broke.
Tony Khan got on there and said he was fearing for his life. Why did he need Daniel Bryan to sit down with 2 other outside attorneys? The attorneys I can understand. But did you need Daniel Bryan? Why did this come out?
I don't know why it came out, but here's the thing, Mike.
Benefit Bryan Danielson.
Here's the thing. He said he feared for his life when he was announcing that Punk had been fired. So the fact is, if
he thought there was going to be retaliation?
Well, no. My point is, if he had decided to keep CM Punk, he would not have said that. He would not have said that he feared for his life. But he did say that because he fired.
Ridiculous.
That's what he said. I wasn't there.
This is an insane.
Maybe
thing.
He did fear for his life.
This is an insane thing, the way it goes down where Bryan Danielson, and now it's being put on him, whether, again, he was one part of 3 people, but now it's always going to be on him that he's the one who made the decision. This is not good.
Well, at the end of the day, Tony Khan made the decision. I mean, let's be honest here. This ain't John Laurinaitis. This ain't Bryan Danielson, John Laurinaitis.
Oh, God. Will you stop? No!
Back in a moment.
No!
Observer Live. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. Would like to note, sticking at the top of my axe, that sounds so lewd, is in fact this new Whale Scout fundraiser, which you can still donate to. The goal is $3,000, but hey, if we go to $30,000, that'd be awesome. But we're not quite at even $3,000 yet. We're at 84%. And you can go to my Twitter, @Bryan Alvarez, and donate. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You can use your PayPal, credit card. If you want to know what the money is going for, there's a gallery of pictures. You can see the habitat restoration work that Whale Scout has been doing. We need a lot. Buckets and shovels and trees and mulch and all sorts of stuff. Got to chop all this stuff down and then replant the whole 9 yards. And you can donate just out of the goodness of your heart, or you can get a perk. And the Bridget cookies are sold out. But I notice here that Bridget's famous mini apple pies still available. Yes. 6, it looks like here.
Made with Washington
the
State
problem.
apples.
That's why they're not sold out. Local pickup only.
Oh.
So, yeah, you won't be able to
if somebody pays extra, can you dry ice them?
No, I don't think you can dry ice them. The cookies are gone. But there's hoodies, and if you're looking for a Christmas gift, there's a really cool ceramic engraved logo mug, a travel mug. So shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies, and if you got kids, there's stickers here that you can grab. So anyway, if you want to toss in a couple of bucks, please do.
Spend enough, you get a cameo from Wario?
Actually, no, but you can get a presentation from Whitney, but I think you got to be in the area for that one too. Yeah, no Oreo. No. I hate that whale. I don't ever want to see him again. I don't even ever want to hear his name again. But we will be having the Bryan and Vinny co-host gigs coming up here pretty soon, so we'll let you know when those are available. They will be on eBay. You'll have to bid on those, but there you go. All right, more news, and then we'll get into my favorite television show coming up here later. Mercedes Moné posted a new video to her official YouTube channel on Wednesday. Features her doing some in-ring training, running the ropes, taking part in various drills. Description on YouTube reads, and this is quite descriptive, Mercedes Moné is back in the ring. So anyway, she'll be back soon. Rocky Romero talked to Wrestle Purist. Can't believe he cheated on us. I honestly don't have any update right now. He said, I hope I'll be talking to her agent, maybe her soonish. I honestly don't have any update yet about anything. The last thing I heard was she was recovering well. Basically, they were going to let me know, reach out when she was getting close to a comeback. Not really sure where we are at.
Why don't you read that like you read Punk's promo from Monday night? Put some fire into that. Put some rock into that. Come on.
Did you see the difference in the two promos, for crying out loud? I honestly don't have any... I can't do that. Come on. So anyway, my guess is, obviously AEW is going to make a big offer. I think that's abundantly clear. She was in the crowd at... Was it Wembley, or was it all out?
Wembley.
Was it? Okay. I was there. I didn't see her. There were a lot of people in the building. But, they'll obviously, I'm sure, make a big offer.
Of course
and
they will.
Don't think for one split second WWE isn't going to make a giant offer.
Hey, things have changed, A couple years is a long time.
Well, I will say one thing about that Punk promo. Well, he didn't say
Trinity?
things have changed. He said I've changed. But things have changed in WWE, everybody.
Yeah.
And the guy that was booking all the stuff that she really didn't like, that caused her to walk out, he's gone. He's not booking anymore. So,
you think?
when she was booked really well?
When's that?
When she was in NXT and Triple H was in charge. Can't help but notice that.
There's a lot of people that you could say that about during his time down there. What do you think the conversation was like between Paul and Phil about Stephanie not being there? And
she was there on this. Stuff? She was there at War Games.
Was she?
Yeah.
Do you think they were there in the conversation?
Her kids were actually in the front row for the Women's War Games match.
Oh, my God. I can imagine just Paul with
Which was a lot better than poor Nick Jackson's kids in the front row for that Hangman Swerve and or Hangman Swerve match. They were.
Could have been worse. Could have been being in the front row, for Mick Foley's matches, as his kids once were.
Well, yeah,
Don't
he
bring
wasn't
your
in
kids
that
to
match,
fights,
but
folks.
still. God.
Don't do that. I can imagine the conversation between those two with Stephanie being involved, considering she was such a big part of that too. Everybody puts it on Vince, but remember, Stephanie's impact and story and being part of that story when it came to CM Punk as well too.
Lucha Gato says Triple H would have to throw a lot of money at Mercedes. They're both going to throw a lot of money at her. What do you think this is? Are you kidding me? Lucha Gato, how come I mentioned him twice today?
Everybody's getting money thrown at them, big money, because there's big money to be thrown right now.
Yeah, you know who's going to be rich in 2024?
Who's that?
Drew
McIntyre, brother.
Sasha.
Yeah.
Who else is coming due? Anybody else coming due in 2024 is going to be rich.
Yeah. I tell you what, Drew.
Give them all the $1 Million Man and Woman gimmick.
AEW would love to have him. There are people there that work with Drew, in WWE and then in his exploits out on the indies and stuff like that. But man, is he in a good position now. And there are a lot of people in there, and I'm sure he's in that position because they want to keep him happy. But man, he really is the access that everything is going off of on Raw right now.
Yeti Pot Pie, I don't think I've mentioned him, says Okada.
Infamous.
Well, listen. Like I said yesterday,
come on.
I'm not going to make a bet because I only make bets that I'm pretty sure I'm going to win, although I did just lose one.
You're not exactly the gambler.
Everybody's been paid, by the way, for those of you wondering. But I would be very surprised if Okada left New Japan Pro Wrestling. Very surprised.
It would have to be...
Do you hear me? Very surprised.
Very, 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 very surprised. You would have to offer a lot that I don't know if you can necessarily get back out of him, because if I'm Okada, it's like, okay, I want wherever Shinsuke is going to surf on the beach every day, I want the house next to his. You're going to take my whole family over here. All of the things that go with that. I mean, he's got kids and all that stuff. It would have to be, he really would have to look at his situation in Japan, look at the landscape and go, yeah, I'm done here. And I'm going to go to the States for 3 years and operate out of there. I don't, that's a lot to ask for.
Oh, we were seeing a lot of me there for a second. I was distracted. You're talking, the camera's on me, I don't even know where to look. Which one of these 85 screens should I look at?
I don't know.
I remember when we first started video and I looked at the camera and everyone was totally creeped out, so I stopped that.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah, they didn't like me looking at them. I heard a lot of that. Plus, I gotta look at you right there.
Mm-hmm.
We're not fancy enough to have one of those things. All right. What have we got in the text message bin? 425-780-7566 is the text message number. And also, I should note that if you want to email me, f4wonline@gmail.com. That's f4wonline, like the website, at gmail.com. Do not use Bryan at WrestlingObserver.com. For those of you that a week ago were following along with my email woes, it is still downloading from now 2018.
Oh, my God.
Yes. It has not gotten to 2019 yet. And yes, I am well aware that Gmail has the option to only download. I tried. I switched all the settings. It's still downloading mail from 2018. And it's man, let me tell you something. They pop up on my phone, here and there. And I have not gotten used to the fact that I'm getting emails from 2018. Because, for example, yesterday, I look at my phone and an email pops up and it talks about how Vince McMahon returns to Raw tonight. I went, what? What? And I open it up and it's from 2018 or whatever. Thank God.
Are you just hitting click and delete all constantly? And
I've already got 91,482 unread.
Oh my God.
So I may as well just let them keep coming in. But anyway, the point is, don't email Bryan at WrestlingObserver.com.
No, ever.
And some of these emails I'm getting, I don't remember. So I'm wondering if I haven't gotten emails. I've had people send to Bryan at WrestlingObserver.com and I've gotten them. But it feels like there's a whole bunch of emails from the past 7 years I just never even looked at or got. So, anyway, if you're listening to this and you've emailed me at some point over the last 7 years and I ignored you, sorry. It wasn't my fault.
On the B&V during a slow time,
life.
maybe you want to pull some of these emails out just to see what they say.
Let's see here. Oh, LA Knight's contract. Yeah, that guy's going to be rich. There's another one. Person says, what should I eat? Well, that'd be a different show for a different day.
Well, it's subjective, too. I mean, with breakfast, lunch, dinner, I mean, you carnivore, you vegetarian, vegan, what do you like?
Just eat food that's unprocessed. How about that?
That's a good start. And get some colors on your plate, too, for heaven's
Except when
sakes.
you really feel like crap, then just eat whatever. That's really
if you're hungover, McDonald's is still a thing.
What is this?
I don't know. Bad radio?
No.
You sure?
I thought that was a good moment right there.
Oh,
I just looked through these text messages. I'm like, do I want to really read this?
Sure.
Nah.
It's Wednesday.
Dom's saving us. We'll be back with NXT Observer Live.
Welcome to the special tour of Figure 4 Weekly Headquarters, as promised. Today I will be accompanied by my assistant Vincenzo, so let's get moving. Hey, don't worry about it. Today's a special day, I'll drive. Vince, today's gonna be a good day, so let's not F anything up, okay? Now, I'd like to tell everybody, I just want to give a short speech on the way to the compound here today, and that is that we are going through very tough economic times right now. Right, Vince? It's a time of stock market crashing, the yen is devalued, a time of woe and want. And many of you watching this right now, for all I know, are unemployed. But the good thing is, and I always like to look on the bright side, as Vince is well aware, the good news is that for every dark cloud, there is a silver lining. And the silver lining is that Figure 4 Weekly is doing great. It's a huge success right now. Subscriptions are up, quality is down, profit margins are skyrocketing, things are going very well. So, the one thing is that I don't want to make it seem like money is everything, because money cannot buy happiness, but what it can buy is enormous houses, and that makes me happy. So, we will be going to see my enormous house, the Figure 4 Weekly compound, and that's where we're heading right now.
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Mike Sempervive, also of WrestlingObserver.com. So happy.
The Twitch chat made me hungry.
To be able to talk about my favorite show, NXT.
You do that.
This show made me hungry.
I'm going to eat this.
For action.
Dewey's Bakery Moravian sugar cake.
So we had Stax and Tony D versus Angel and Humberto for the NXT Tag Team titles. And the first half of the match was kind of weird. It was like, there were like 4 hot tags, or I don't even know what was going on. But once they got into it, the second half of the match was very good. And stop eating on the air, I'm going to mute you. We had Tony tag it in, sent Humberto outside, hit Angel with their finish, tossed Stax on Humberto outside, got the pin. So Stax and Tony retaining those NXT Tag Team titles. Now Angel and Humberto can get the hell out of there and go to SmackDown and team with old Santos.
Will they wear masks?
Maybe. Doubt it. We actually had a really good face-to-face with Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Or with Ilya and Nathan Frazier. So Ilya's walking in, and he gets in this huge argument with Nathan. And Ilya's angry that Nathan said, 99% of the population would probably rather have Corbin's life than Ilya's. Which I don't know why Ilya was so insulted by this, but he was. I think he took it personally.
An awkward thing where a guy was walking in, only heard one part of it, didn't know the context, and Ilya blew up.
But they did a great job, and they agreed by the grace of the good Lord to a match later.
Mm-hmm.
Briggs, Jensen...
By the way, that's when Humberto and Angel looked like they walked through with masks on.
Briggs and Jensen and Fallon are backstage. And this, the Virgin and the Fornicator... You're going to be splitting soon. Because they bring up that Briggs goes, man, last week, the biggest moment of my career. And Brooks is kind of like, was? Because they were a team. Briggs goes, yeah, I beat former NXT champion Carmelo Hayes. And before they could say anything else, up walks Lexus King. And he goes, I see these legends picked Fallon for the challenge and Briggs for the challenge, but no one picked you, Brooks. And Brooks gets mad. And they agree to do a match later on. We had Kiana and Kalani. Got that? Iron Survivor qualifier.
Booker couldn't.
And Roxanne showed up and rang the bell. What is with the bell this week? You ever notice, like, somebody comes up with an idea and then we have to see it throughout the show? We had 2 different angles on one show involving the ring bell. So first, Roxanne shows up and she rings the bell. But the match isn't over. So Kiana gets distracted. Kalani hits her split-legged moonsault and wins. Finish was stupid. The match was all right, actually. Like, Kalani gets better every single time she's in the ring. And I cannot help but notice that they've got this Iron Survivor Challenge. The rules are, like, complicated. But last year, the 2 matches were really good. They're putting a lot of green wrestlers in the Iron Survivor Challenge this year. Like, a lot of them. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Sean's got to be confident or something. So Alpha Academy challenges Metaphor to a mixed 6-person next week, which was accepted later on in the show. And then clips from NXT Anonymous of Trick Williams getting ready for the 4-way. And you see Lexus King following him out of the room. This was the night that Trick got attacked. So Booker concludes it must have been Lexus, even though actually we have no proof. And he says everybody owes Carmelo an apology. Then it's time. Andre Chase makes his statement. Shall we go back to 50s newscaster? Wrong one. Chase University currently under investigation. Andre Chase, I want to be as forthcoming and honest about this investigation. All accusations are true. The university in severe debt. I take full responsibility for the university debt. The amount of money the university owes, significant, says Andre Chase. Chase University investigation finds gambling and misuse of funds. The future of Chase University in jeopardy. More at 6. So yeah, Andre.
When Conehead's there at the end.
Andre's been gambling away the Chase University money.
Oh my God!
Golly.
For the homie bravado, he's got to. I'm happy for him. As dumb as some of these things are, they have made Chase U entertaining. It's not been a home run every time, but they've done a good job with it. And him being able to not only play a Bobby Knight type of character, but then to also have some college basketball academic gambling scandal or whatever this is going to be. I got to be honest. Again, when NXT is at its best, and this is the goofy part of it. It makes it for a great show. I enjoy it. But, man, sometimes, like when Von Wagner visits Robert Stone's kids, not so
you
much.
know what? I knew DJ was going to jump on the one stupid segment on the show to talk about how NXT sucks overall. Well, brother. Actually, we had a couple of other things first. Braun Breaker, Eddie Thorpe, Iron Survivor Challenge. It's fine. Braun Breaker speared him, pinned him. He goes on to Deadline. That was good. Then we had Carmelo meeting with Trick. And he says, man, did you see that video? I knew it was Lexus King all along. And, of course, Trick's all furious. And he says, man, I want to beat that guy tonight, but I have to be smart. I have Iron Survivor in 2 weeks. Nobody will stop me from taking what is mine. And Carmelo says, I don't have a prize to keep my eyes on. Lexus took that from me. And Trick says, we're better than that now. We don't have to jump people from behind no more. And Carmelo goes, we are? And the crowd goes, Trick says, yeah, we are. Mello goes, yeah, I guess we are. They shook on it. Guaranteed Carmelo jumped this guy. Guaranteed. Then we had the gosh dang greatest frickin' match. Ilya Dragunov and Nathan Frazier. This match was unbelievable because nobody beats the living hell out of you better than Ilya Dragunov, and nobody takes a better frickin' beating than Nathan Frazier. And this would have been anywhere on the planet Earth. People would have been, and this crowd was going nuts for this match. And they're just chopping the hell out of each other. And we had, I swear to God, finish of this match, Frazier goes for a Phoenix Splash. He misses. Dragunov hits him with an Enziguri. And for those of you that have been around for a while, there was a Nitro in 1995. And the match was Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. And Chris Benoit gave Eddie Guerrero the absolute scariest frickin' powerbomb I ever saw in my whole entire life. This one here may have been number 2. He powerbombed this guy to death. Then he kills him with his H-bomb. He kills him with his second H-bomb. And then he goes back to the ropes and he kills him with his third H-bomb. And I hope we see Nathan Frazier again. If they announce today that, like, you know, he's moving back to wherever, Australia or New Zealand or whatever, and we're never going to see him again, I'd believe it. That's how thoroughly this guy was absolutely killed. So the place is just going nuts with Dragunov chants. And Corbin shows up on the big screen. This is the greatest Baron Corbin. He's calmly sitting on a couch. He's got his expensive whiskey and such. And he goes, my God, here I am talking to you from a screen, just like you have to do with your family. Oh. And he says, look at what you did to this guy that you call a friend, all because he said, my life was better than yours. Well, it's a fact. My life is better than yours. And the only reason you're here is because of that belt. And I am going to take that title from you, and afterwards, you're going to have nothing left. And you know what? It's Christmas. So I will upgrade you to first class to fly back to Germany after I beat you for this title. I was dying. I almost hope Corbin wins, but he's got to lose it to Ely afterwards because Ely is such an incredible champion. But man, this was great. Then we had a stupid segment from the highs to the lows. Lyra's backstage. Fallon walks up. She says, I hope you face me and this, that, the other thing. And then some mystery woman shows up from behind a curtain. I have no earthly idea who this person is. She says, well, if Fallon wins, Lyra's just going to beat you anyway. And Fallon goes, who's that? And I said, who's that? And Lyra goes, I don't know, not with me. And then they just left. Who was that?
Hey, Lyra's paying somebody to heckle for her from behind curtains, hidden in the distance.
So for those of you that thought that Joe Gacy killed himself last week when he jumped off the roof, well, he's not dead. In fact, he's under the ring now, acting like a numbskull.
Oh, boy. I know where this is going, and I already don't like it.
We had Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace, and it was all right. But the most notable thing is it has been years since we had a legitimate wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah.
And Carmen goes to boot her out of the corner, but she puts her boot right in the middle of her chest, and so when she boots, like her whole boob comes out.
Ariana's.
Yes. And like imagine if this were the 90s. Nothing from the crowd. Literally the only reaction is Booker T just goes, "Whoa." And then they just kept going.
Well, what did you want to, saw your nipple?
Well, no, I figured the crowd would do something. They didn't do anything. They were just like, oh, her boob fell out. She put it back in. Oh, man, look at that karate kick. So anyway, and then after, for some reason, in the middle of this match, this idiot Joe Gacy comes out and just steals the ring bell. I don't even know why. So, Carmen loses, right? Yeah. Ariana raked her eyes and pinned her. And then there's no bell, so they can't ring the bell. But then Joe Gacy's in the crowd ringing the bell, and everyone's all cheering for him. Has this guy ever had one good gimmick in his life? Certainly not in this company.
Well, in CZW, yeah. But, I mean, look, if this is leading to, because of the way they do things, him being the real weirdo that's there at Full Sail and now wants, Ariana, if this is the direction that they're going, don't.
Okay, so then we had Lexis King and Brooks Jensen, and Carmelo is furious at Lexis, allegedly. So he hits the ring. Brooks ends up distracted, and Carmelo's distraction leads to Lexis getting the pin. Huh. How about that? I've been very impressed with Lexis King. It's funny because, facially he looks like Brian Pillman, but if you just look at, everything else about him, he looks like 90s Chris Jericho. It's actually kind of uncanny. The tights and the physique and the whole 9 yards.
And he's apparently working a Sean O'Hare gimmick from when he came back.
And then we had the second best match of the night, that on any other night would have been the best match by far. Johnny Gargano, Wes Lee, Bronson Reed, and Cameron Grimes in a four-way, where Wes Lee has to win to get a shot at Dom, and if he doesn't, he never gets a shot at the North American title again. This was so awesome, and the place is going nuts. Fight forever chants, and at one point, Bronson's about to do Bronson did 25 awesome spots in this match, just using his power on these three dudes, and finally he's going up for the tsunami, and on Raw, Ivar and Bronson had a match, and it went to a double countout, and they brawled all over. Well, here comes Ivar! He invades the NXT, whatever they call it, and he goes after Bronson. They fight to the back, and the other three guys are in the ring. Big move, big move, big move. Cameron hits a cave-in on Johnny. Wes hits a cardiac kick on Cameron, pins him. He will be facing Dominic coming up at the pay-per-view. And I cannot do justice to this match. The three-way stuff that they did, it was so awesome. So, 2 blow-away matches on NXT. Mike is have to mute him now. He's eating frickin' donuts, which is a processed food. Anyway, back in a moment with more Observer Live. Back on the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Looking back at some of these. Lenny's been forced to watch NXT. He actually forced himself to watch WWE programming for a month. But Regal's kid is not Nathan Frazier. That's, what's his name?
Charlie Dempsey.
Charlie Dempsey is Regal's kid, yes.
Yes.
Ely has not killed him yet, I don't think.
Not yet.
If it did, I missed that show, which would make me very sad.
I missed a lot of NXT UKs, and it makes me kind of sad now because B. Priestley and Mako and Ilya and Nathan Frazier and Noam Dar, I mean, they've been great. Well, different levels of being really good at different times in NXT. And, it's too bad. It was just a glut of things. I was not able to keep up with it. But it's one of those things that might be a fun deep dive to jump back into at some point, because there were a lot of people who were like me that nothing against the show. It just didn't have time to watch it.
Lenny says, just a few more weeks to go. I'm hoping that by the time the 4 weeks is up, he gives it all up except NXT. It'll be truly everyone's favorite show.
It'll be, you know what? That would make it a very Merry Christmas, wouldn't it?
Oh,
what
it
a
sure
holiday
would.
That would be.
Oh, man, it sure would. Hey, if he made it through Collision on Saturday, he can make it through NXT. God, that show was rough.
Copeland had a good promo, though. There was that as well.
Yeah, he did have a very good promo.
That whole storyline is kind of
I still haven't
ridiculous.
recovered from that House of Black versus Commander and Gravity match, though.
Jesus.
I still have not recovered.
I
It could
know.
be a long time before I get over that one.
Gravity, right down to earth.
Anyway, we're going to wrap it up at about, what time is it? In an hour, Lance Storm's going to be up about somewhere around 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. You know how it goes on Wednesdays.
Give or take.
And he watched Raw and the return of CM Punk. We'll talk about that and more. And then later on tonight, Wrestling Observer Radio with Dave, all of the news. Enjoy Dynamite tonight. That's it, everybody. We'll talk to you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.